Dorney Park and Wild Water Kingdom, located in Allentown, PA, in the northeastern corridor, roughly about an hour and a half north of Philadelphia. I'm Clay with the Pennsylvania Roller Coaster Club, and we're going to take a look at the roller coasters at Dorney. We're going to take you on a journey from worst to first. Now, before we actually talk roller coaster credits, let's take a look at Dorney Park in itself and the park's history. So, dating all the way back to 1860, when the park had started as a fishery and picnic grove, the picnic grove operations slowly and surely started to advance when the Allentown Kutztown Traction Company decided to put a stop of the railway at Dorney Park. So, in 1884, the park would officially open to patrons and guests with attractions and rides, making it the sixth oldest amusement park in the United States. Pretty cool history here in PA. Now, before we're able to talk about the rides currently existing, let's talk about the ride that's being built. B&M currently helping the folks at Dorney forge their own fate with this mini dive that's going to be opening up next year. But we can only talk about the rides we have currently, and number 7, Woodstock Express. Now, as you can probably imagine, the demographic that we attempt to reach on this channel is not necessarily watching this video to get my death-defying insight on my ride on this Zamperla Kids Classic. But that's why it's ranked number 7. Moving on, number 6. Wild Mouse. So, wild mice can be interesting, guys, but this one is not one of them. This is your standard run-of-the-mill Mauer Wild Mouse. Nothing particularly memorable or particularly forgettable about this in particular installation. But when you've ridden one of these, you essentially have ridden them all. But, you know, for what it's worth, it still has a great place in the lineup. Good ride. Moving on. Number 5. The Yellow Roller Coaster. Well, at least if you are a native of the area and have been going to Dorney for years. If you just started going after 1989, then Thunderhawk. Now, guys, I am a huge fan of wooden roller coasters, for the most part. But I gotta tell you, Thunderhawk pulls absolutely zero force in any way. Not good or bad. It is, it's not an uncomfortable ride. It's not unpleasant. It's just incredibly uneventful. And, you know, hey, I'll ride it every time I'm at Dorney. I am a sucker for a good old wooden roller coaster. So, hey, the more the merrier. Moving on. Number 4, Hydra the Revenge. This is an interesting roller coaster, to say the least. So, for those of you that are not familiar, Hydra is a ride made by Bolliger and Mavlar, and it is a floorless. Now, this in particular floorless came to global notoriety for introducing the world to the JoJo roll, the slow heartline roll directly out of the station prior to the first lift hill. And for the most part, this is a pretty decent ride. I will say that over the years, Hydra has gotten pretty rough. At least in terms of B&M floorlesses and how they rate in terms of roughness. This is one of the more janky of the group. Number 3, Possessed. Now, Possessed, guys, started its life in 2000 at Six Flags, Ohio, as Superman Ultimate Flight. And this is an intimate impulse coaster, just like ones that can be found, or could have been found throughout the country at that time. I believe 5 were made just like this one. And Possessed, still a pretty darn good ride. I mean, it's pretty well maintained by Dorney. I have to give them credit where credit's due. And still a pretty punchy launch. So, fun ride. Number 2, Steel Force. Now, Steel Force, this, you either love it or you hate it. Morgan Hivers are an acquired taste. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, they don't offer a ton of airtime to begin with, number one. Number two, the departure angles on descent are so incredibly gradual that you're almost going down a child's slide, than moreover having a first drop. But they are fast. And, these Morgans can be equated pretty much to a big mine train. It's an out-of-control mine train that goes really, really fast. So the reason that I prefer Steel Force over the others similar to this installation is I find that it hits the trims a little bit less than the others. So if I had to pick one out of the group, considering that they are tied for the 8th longest roller coaster in the world, I guess we can live. Number 1, Talon. Now, guys, Talon, this is one of my guilty pleasure rides. As you know this, or as you may not know, this was the very first ride that we tackled for the Underrated series. We all think very highly of Talon. In terms of inverts, it offers some things that not many inverts do, like a phenomenal piece of floater airtime, and just an amazingly aggressive, short, compact layout, essentially making it a better, more unique, elemented Batman the Ride, in my opinion, or as I like to call it, Mini Montu. And after getting another ride on Montu this year, I still concur. So, guys, if you enjoy our take on these rides, enjoy my take on these rides, please give us a like and a subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you are kept up to date to the content as we are putting it out. We have a lot of parks to touch base on and give roller coaster reviews before the end of the year, and hopefully with a little bit of comments and feedback from you guys, you can let me know if you agree with where we place these rides, or if you think we're being too generous or not showing one ride in particular enough love. Until next time, guys, please continue to stay blessed, and we will see you out there.